We went through a renaming process, came up with so many different possibilities, and then, and we went back and forth between keeping this name and then having a new name, but we finally decided it's time to move on.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Scott Lowry, is the president of Trillion Energy International. At least it was, because they've made a name change. They're now known as Dune Oil Corp. And Scott, we'll bring you in. Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Hey, Steve, doing very well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing well, doing well. So as I mentioned, you've rebranded now to Dune Oil Corp. Tell me a little bit about the reasoning behind it.
Well, we were the Trillion name was focused on natural gas, and since we've done a complete pivot for the company, our new focus being oil, that was the name that we came up with. We went through a renaming. It took months. We went through a renaming process, came up with so many different possibilities, and then, and we went back and forth between keeping this name and then having a new name, but we finally decided it's time to move on, start with a fresh name, fresh project, fresh opportunities for investors here, and that was the rationale.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Dune Oil Corp. You've changed the ticker as well on the Canadian Securities Exchange. It'll be DUNE, which makes sense because you're Dune. So, but as far as shareholders are concerned, they don't have to do anything, right? This just moves into the new one.
Yeah, nothing has to be done. Their shares will automatically change into the new name in their accounts, and it'll just be business as usual.
Yeah, and that business also includes some new capital within the company as well. Because you in the news release you had an update on an update on your financing activities.
Yeah, we've raised somewhere around $2.5 million over the last 2 or 3 months. And so a lot of that has gone towards the seismic program that's happening in Turkey right now. And so it's going to be well spent. The seismic is going to be very exciting. It allows us to pinpoint a number of locations and some potential new locations for oil exploration. So we're very excited about getting that seismic program off the ground.
Yeah, maybe you can just expand on that a little bit. Just about you mentioned obviously you've got this project in Türkiye and they got the new name, the project itself. Tell me a bit more about it and really about the next key pivotal steps that you're taking.
Sure. So the project is, it's a very exciting oil exploration block with a recent discovery in the middle of a newly discovered fairway in southeast Turkey, just extending up from the Syria and Iraq border in Zagros Basin area. This oil belt was undiscovered up until 5 years ago, and since there's been discovery, there's been 7 oil fields discovered and now being put on production. We've got 80,000 barrels a day being produced in the area. And so there's been a tremendous ramp up in production. And so with our interest in this block, we have an opportunity to be part of that oil ramp up.
Absolutely. Well, it's exciting days ahead for sure. I know there's lots of talk that we're going to have over the next months as things continue to unravel there, and all under a new name. Dune Oil Corp is official today. So, Scott, thanks so much. Really great update from you and appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Steve.
All right, Scott Lauer, the president of Dune Oil Corp.